Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Well, I finally decided to go ahead and do a Vim series on my channel. The thing about Vim is I'm probably like a beginner, a functional beginner essentially in Vim. I pretty much just use the basic, what I would call the basics of Vim with pretty much just one add-on called Easy Motion. But nothing really other than that. I mean, you can take Vim all the way to the point where it auto-completes. You can have functions and macros, lots of things like that. The point where almost as far as a development software, of course, it can't run the program like some of those programs can. But pretty much everything other than that, you can have auto-completions for different types of languages and all that. But I don't get anywhere near that. I pretty much just like I said, just barely functional. So I figured the first video will be just the Vim basics. I do have the screen key up, so hopefully that'll help you guys kind of follow along what I'm doing. But keep in mind, this first video is going to be very basic, just level 1 entry to Vim. The second one will be kind of a customized, to get you to where I am, go through my vimrc and all that. But right now, if you look, there is no Vim. I deleted it. There's some in here. I can actually so essentially there is no Vim. So if we do vim.vimrc, there is nothing there. So I've started over from a blank template. Let's go do my temp directory, and I think I left something in here. I guess I didn't. Give me a minute and I'll write it out real quick. Okay, so I actually had deleted it and had to rewrite it. So let's go ahead and just open Vim first. And we're going to see that it just has this interface here. We're going to do, let's do E and do, I think it was example.md, I believe. Yeah, there it is. So if you look in here, if you look at here, these are the files that are available. And so if we just go, it's the same as what we just did, is just Vim, and then E to open, and we know it's example.md. Then you can get in there. So so the first thing about Vim is there's the idea of modes. So when you first open Vim, you're in what's called normal mode. And normal mode, you use the HJKL. So essentially, H goes left, L goes right, J goes down, K goes up. So that's the fundamentals. You can put a number in front of pretty much everything in Vim. You can say, like, let's go 30 characters to the right, or up. So I always do that. 30 characters to L, go to the right. 45 characters to the right. So you can always put a number in front of it. You can go 60 to H to go to the left. You can go 3J to go down 3 letters, or 3 lines. So that's the basics. So when you're in normal, again, when you open a document, you're always in normal. You can just hit I in any point and just start typing. So I, you can see down here, goes to insert, so just start typing. Hit escape to get back to normal. So I to start typing, escape to go back to normal. So there's just a couple of basics. So if we're here and we want to get rid of N and replace it with K, we can hit S to delete that letter and hit a K. And notice it dropped us automatically into insert when we hit S. So again, if we wanted to change that, if you just hit S, it deletes that letter, and if you see down here, it automatically kicks you to insert. If you want to delete the line, you hit capital S. Quickly, if you just hit escape, and then when you're in normal mode, you hit U, you undo. So then the other things you do, so if you're here and you want to change learning to learner, you could just hit A, and it'll go to the position to the right of where the cursor was, and you can type that in. U to undo that. this is the one I use a lot. So say we're in the middle of this line here, we want to go to the end and edit, just hit capital A, and it just takes you to the end and puts you in insert mode. Another one I use quite a bit is, say we're here and we want to include or start typing, essentially go up, go into enter, let's do that again. So let's go back to the end. We're in normal mode. We want to go up. We want to hit enter. We want to lower a line, but keep. We have to escape. K to go up, insert, and then we can type. So that took, like, you can see here, quite a few lines to do that. Another way we could do that is if we go to the end, we hit escape to get into normal mode, we can hit O, and that inserts a line above and puts you in insert mode. The other way we could go down, which is lowercase o, and do the same thing. So uppercase O and lowercase o. So I'm going to do that a little slower so you can actually see make sure that everything gets off the bottom of the screen here. So again, uppercase O, just that one letter, which inserts a line, and lowercase o, put you below in insert mode. So there's that. So another thing, say you want to go, you're here, and you want to delete that rest of the line and start typing, just hit capital C. So there's that. So now let's go to the next ones, which is kind of the next level. That's the real basic stuff. The next one are W, B, and E. So if we're here just somewhere randomly there in the middle of the line, or middle of the stick there, we want to go to the beginning of with, we just hit W. We want to go to the beginning of it, hit W. U, W. The thing is, though, in this Yule, there's an apostrophe. You hit W, you're going to go to the apostrophe, then L, then never. So next thing you can do is, if you want to skip those apostrophes and consider Yule as one word, you use capital W. So it's the same with normal words, but it'll skip from Yule to never in one use. The opposite of W is B. If you're here and you go back, hit B to go back, hit B, you'll go to L, now the apostrophe, now U. If you do that same thing, you hit capital B, it'll go to never, then Yule, then it. So, capitals for W and B are like that. So if we want to go to the end of words, we hit E, and the same thing will happen here. It'll go to U, apostrophe, L, never. The same thing if we go back a few using the B, which we just learned, we can hit capital E, and it'll go from it to L for Yule to never. Okay, so let's go back, hit B again a bunch to get back to the sort of the beginning. Let's do a couple different combos. Let's do 6E. Now let's go back to steep, which I'm not even sure that's supposed to be steep. I don't know. So let's wait for this to clear out down here. So we just did 6E. Let's do 6 capital E. You'll notice this goes a little further. Pretty much just 1 point. So let's go here and do 6E. Okay. Now let's do that again. We do 6 capital E, and you notice it went further. So same thing with W. So 6W and 6 capital W. Just goes slightly different places. All right. So the next level is F. So F is find. It's pretty easy to remember to just think of F as find. So let's take a look here. There's quite a few T's here. There's a T here, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 T's to the right of learning. So if we want to go to the T here, we could hit FT and then FT again, because it's going to stop at the first T and then go to the second T. But if we want to just go directly to the second one, we go to FT and we go straight here. If we want to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, we want to go to the T, we hit 4FT, right? Hopefully that makes sense. If we want to go back, it's the same as F, but it's capital. So we want to do for capital FT, we go back to the first. If we want to go to this one here, we got to go through 1, 2, 3, 4. So we hit 4 capital FT, and we go back here. So just like everything else in Vim, you can put a letter or a number in front of it. Next thing we can do is search. So let's do, if you look down here in the bottom right, left-hand corner, if I hit /, see that little / down here? And let's do a search for Vim. So there's only 2 of them. So I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to, Vim's great, promise you'll love Vim. Okay. So we go back to, let's clear that out, have it search for a ZZ, which doesn't exist. And let's do a search for Vim again. Now we see there's 4 of them. And we can hit N. You can just barely see the green blinking under the yellow there. If we hit N, we go to the next one, and next one, and next one. Now we can hit capital N and go backwards, or back forwards, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, or capital N, bottom to top, bottom to top. So there's that. Just do the ZZ to clear the search for it. Next thing we can do is yank. So if you just go to a line pretty much anywhere, doesn't matter where, and you hit Y, you can go up here and hit P to print that entire line. And oops, just accidentally hit that. So another thing you can do is go to the beginning of a word. Say you want to copy, actually what I don't know is whether it's going to copy the apostrophe S. You can YW to yank word, and then come up here and hit print. No, it doesn't. So let's try 3 yank word P. So there, what it did, so it considers there 1, apostrophe 2, and S3 is 3 words, right? 0C to get rid of that. So what I just did is 0. So if we're anywhere in the word in the middle of a line, we can hit capital I to go to the beginning and insert, or we can just hit 0 to go to the 0 position of that, but you're not in insert. So capital I goes to insert mode, and 0 goes in normal mode. So if we want to copy pretty steep learning, you go to the beginning of pretty, you do 3 yank word, 3, and let me actually do that again. Let's get back here and let this clear out because this is pretty messy. Okay, so we want to copy pretty steep learning. We can do 3YW and come up here and hit P, and you can see it copied 3 words. There's another, so we talked about normal and insert. Another thing we can do is hit V, and you see down here goes to visual, and then you can hit L, K, J, and H, and you can highlight those 3 words, including where the cursor is. Hit Y to yank it, come up here and hit P. It does the same thing. So that's, you know, visual basically is like a selection with your mouse, essentially. You can think about it. Another thing is, say we want to copy pretty steep learning again, so we do 3YW. We can hit P, but if you notice, it goes between the P and the R and prints. Another thing you could do is hit capital P, and it goes before it, and it leaves a nice little space here. So if you wanted to, you know, pretty steep learning, great, and come up here and despite the insert here and go, well, in this case I want it after it, so I would do that. But you could go to the end, space, and hit P. Undo, and if you want it in front of it, you put it there. If you want it in front of it, you do capital P. So again, that's kind of the way it works. And we'll just do this one more time. Pretty steep learning curve. Okay, so there's that. You've already seen me do this a lot, but if you do a bunch of total messy stuff to your document, you can hit U while in normal mode to undo, hit Control R to redo, U to undo, Control R to redo, U to undo. Okay. Combos. So since let's see, what's the word I'm thinking of? Give me a second here. E, right? Yeah. So so say you're at the learning and you want to type right after learning. You can go to E to go to the end of that, and then A to go just right of it, and type. So just really quickly, you can be here and say, oh, really. So I'm in the middle of pretty, and I want to add pretty super steep. I just hit E, A, super steep. Okay? So you can combo those things together. And I need to actually change that in my notes. This needs to be an E. Go to the end of the next word and enter insert. So if you're in the middle of, here you want to get rid of, you're here you want to get rid of pretty, so you go B to go to the beginning, and then hit DW, and it deletes that word and the space. If you want to say, if you want to change pretty to dang, then you go B to go to the beginning, CW to change the word, it puts you in insert. So instead of D leaves you in normal, and CW leaves you in so you don't have to hit I to start typing. So let me do that again. So if I hit DW, sorry, BDW, notice I'm in normal, I'd have to hit I to start typing. Again, I'd go B to go to the beginning, CW, I don't have to hit I. So it's just slightly more efficient. So there's lots of that type of stuff. So now probably the most powerful thing about Vim, I mean the thing that I use the most, and that's the find and replace. So let's try to find a word, it. There's quite a few its, right? Several its. So we know we can do /it, right? And we see that there's, 8 of them? So what we can do is this thing called %s. So /%s, sorry, no, it's colon, %s. And I want to change it to, I don't know, zet. And but I want to be asked on each occasion. Okay, so CG is for each occasion. So %s to search and replace it with zet, and then ask me each time. So we hit enter. Now this top one, it's highlighted here. We want to do yes, no, all of them, quit. I don't know what L, E, and Y, probably Y is probably all of them. But I'm going to go one at a time. I typically just do one at a time, which means Y for yes, 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 yes. No, I don't want with to change, but I want it to change, so I hit no. It, yes, I want to change. Editor, no, I don't want to change editor. I would change it. And I don't want to spite. So it's worth zet because that's, so, you know, that's probably one of the things I started using the most is the edit, or the search and replace. It's really cool. So let's go ahead and undo everything. So again, that's colon, %s, what you want to search for, what you want to replace it with, and CG. If you don't do CG, I think it automatically changes all of them. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But I always, every time, use CG and do it case-by-case basis, yes or no. And again, you can make it faster if you know you want to replace all of them. But anyways, quit. Q for quit. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I use Vim for. Later on, we'll get into easy motion, but that'll be in the next video. So I'm going to go ahead and close and exit out of there. I'm going to go back to home, which is just there. Give you a little bit, those of you that aren't familiar with my sorry, dot files. I'm trying to talk. Give me a second essentially what I just did was symlinks to my actually I don't want that. Bear with me here. ln, so clear. ls, Dropbox, tux, configs.m, and rc. So essentially, those are my configurations that I share across machines. But anyways, my vimrc, we'll go through that next time. But essentially, we're gonna get the power line, and we're gonna get lots of shortcuts. One thing I didn't mention is Control D is page down, and you'll notice that I have the page down stays in the middle of the screen. Page up, page down. We're gonna work on that. Work on theming. Work on remaps and leader and tabs. So if we do tab new and shortcuts for save and all that. So that's a teaser for the next video, but I think that's it for now, and let me know if you have any questions. Talk to you later.